Hi, Steve here with the instructional video on lay cover staking. First of all, this is not a very complicated staking software, and it's designed to give you control over your betting and to take away the emotional aspect that can be so destructive in back betting, but more so in lay betting if you allow emotions and fear, etc., to become part of your betting psyche when the things aren't going your way. So with lay cover staking, this is designed to do that. Now we work on this one, we are looking essentially at bets where you are having a greater strike rate of say 85 to 90% strike rate of having successful lay bets. Now this means you're not laying the favourite, and in a lot of cases you're not laying second favourites either. You're laying third favourites, or in the place market you can be maybe laying the sixth or seventh favourite. You're looking at not laying at over decimal 8 or 7 to 1. The way that lay staking works is basically, if we set up a profile, I'll just show you here. I don't want to get into the profiles too much just yet because I just want to show you something here. First profile. The first time you open a profile, you're given the initial configuration of that profile. Every profile or every staking series that you have has its own configuration. So for example, you must put the bank in that you're using. If you haven't got a $1,000 bank, don't leave 1,000 there, because the staking in that is tied to the by a percentage to the bank. So if you've got only say 350, put in 350. I recommend you use 1% of the bank, and depending on what commission you are, predominantly it's 5% commission. So once you've saved that staking, that's saved, and that will run with that specific profile. But the thing with our staking is that we run at a percentage of the bank, and in this case we're running at 1% of the bank. So with a $350 pound or euro bank, our first bet would be 3.5 euro, our stake on that bet. So what happens is we just continue to lay 1% of the bank until such time as we have a losing bet. Once we have a losing bet, that's when the staking software kicks into its special feature, which enables accelerated profit rather than just level lay staking. Now what that does is it splits the losing stake money, not the losing liability, but the losing stake, over the next 5 winning bets. If you get a losing bet in between that, it splits the stake again and increases the stake. So that's why we're looking at over 5 bets increase on the stake after a losing bet, and this is what the software controls for you. So that's why it's important to put a correct bank in there, and also to bet on the low side, like 1% of your bank. And the other thing is we're looking at a strike rate around 80 to 90%. So as I said, you're not betting those short price favourites. Okay, let's get on with how to actually use the software. First of all, the tool button. The instruction video you're watching, you can always access it by clicking on the instruction video tab. The betting bank growth report will show you whatever profile you're in. That will show you a graph of how that profile is going, whether you're in profit or going down the toilet. Hopefully you're going up. And clear all data will clear the data of all the profiles. So if you've got a UK dog profile and you don't want the data in it, don't push this button, because it will wipe out your horse one, your tennis one, your football one, whatever else you've got running. Okay, so be very careful. The other button here is profiles, and we just touched on that a minute ago. Manage profiles. I've set up some here so you can see them. You can have a profile by the day, and you could bet across the range of horses, dogs, whatever. or you may want to have a football profile. Say for example we wanted one just for football UK. We add that. So on a Saturday we may want to come here, switch profile. We want to switch profile. We want to put a football bet on today. So we click enter, and because this is our first time in here we have to set it up. So we've got a 500 bank, and we're going to bet 1% of the bank, and the commission's 5%. So what happens is we might come up and we want to lay Liverpool, and you would obviously be looking for a non-favourite here because of the way that the structure is set up. As I said, we're not laying favourites. Say for this example, Liverpool's fought is £4. So if we click in here, this is the stake box, it will tell us now that we're going to stake £5 on Liverpool at 4s to lose. We go into Betfair, we make the bet, then we come back and we push the button here. Okay, please place your bet on Betfair and update the results. Now, if you couldn't get Liverpool at 4, say the price had changed, you can just overwrite it. But if you've already pushed this button, you can't overwrite it until you get down to the bottom here. Okay, so we click OK, and obviously the game's going to take a couple of hours, so move forward a couple of hours time. Liverpool in fact does get beaten, so it's a winning bet for us. We click on the 1 because we've won the bet, and we update it. Do we want to update this record? Yes. So we have our first bet in the football profile there now. I'd just like to say now, the very first bet of any profile, if you actually lose the bet, it will not go in to the stake recovery mode on the very first bet. This is done so that you're not right from the bat starting to panic and your stake starts jumping right from the very first bet. It's just a profile in there so that you don't start getting up in stakes. If you're having a bad day and you lose your first bet, and if things are going against you, you don't want the escalation. So the very first bet of the day, if it's a losing bet, it will not double the stake money for the second bet. Okay, so that's the football one, and we might not have another bet till tomorrow, so we may not want to keep this profile open. So we go to switch profile, and we're going to go to the horses, UK horses. So we go into the UK horses, and here we have it's come up with where we left off from the UK horses, and we can just carry on here and put our odds in. I don't usually like to lay any higher than 8s because that's just the way I am. But calculate the stakes. So we just click in the box there. It tells us we're going to bet 5 on this horse. So we click that, go to Betfair, we place our bets. Okay. Now for example, I'll just show you if, for example, we'd already clicked that, but we couldn't get the horse, we couldn't get the bet on, say the race started or the odds moved against us. We can click the little red button down here, delete this record, yes, and that last record, that last bet that we started on won't go in. So then we go to the next race, and we've got Redhead at 5.7. Click in that box there, it tells us to put 5 on it, so we put our 5 on it. If we don't click this button, say for example Redhead all of a sudden the race jumped and we couldn't get on, we can just use the little brush here and it clears the box. Okay, but we did get the bet on, so we click that, we register so the bet's now stored, waiting for the result. Okay, as the result gets made, the bet for us, for example, just say it's a losing bet. The horse won, we lost our bet. Okay, so what we do now for the next one is we put the odds in. Match is at 5.8. You can see now the stake is 10. What it's done now, it's doubled the stake that we're going to put on the next horse. We are looking at our loss recovery of stake over the next 5 races. So we stake $10 pounds euros on match at 5.8. Okay, the races run and our horse runs second last. So we win our bet. And our third bet is recorded for us. We'll just carry on for the fourth bet. Click in that stake box. It tells us we're going to stake 9 on this one now, so it's a pound or dollar less than the last one. It wins. And so after 4 bets here, one was a losing bet. We're very close now to being back to our 500 start bank. So just click in that box. It tells us we're staking 8 this time. The horse runs second in a photo, so it's a winning bet for us. We're back now, back in profit, and we just continue. I'll just do 2 more bets to show you. And now we're staking 7, so you can see it's come down 10, 9, 8, 7. Runs 5th, which is good for us. Okay, and 1 more bet. Move it down to 6. Staking 6. And now we will be back to 1% of our bank, so we'll be back to 1% of 518, so our next bet should be about 5.1 or 5.2. And we're back to 5. Okay, so we put that bet on. Okay, so there we are. We've had 8 bets now. Now what happens if we bet 3? We have 3 winning bets after a loss, and then we have another loss. Well, then that gets put on top of that, and the software works its way back down to our normal 1% of the bank staking. Okay, we can just click on Tools, look at Bet Growth, and we can see here's our bank. Started at 500, dipped down here, and then it's slowly building back up again. Okay, so you've got that to look at. The other thing that you've got here, if we click on here, we can print out a report directly off here onto our printer, or you can, the little cross down here is Excel, so you can save it as a CSV file and you've got it in Excel for further records. But all this stays in here for as long as you have the profile. The records are maintained in here. So if we switched out of here now and we want to put we want to go back to football finished, and we want to put a bet on the night football, and click here, we can continue on here, and all the stuff that was on that last profile is just saved till you come back and open it again. Like this football one we had before open, it's been saved so we can come back to it. So that's sorry, that's the beauty of this, is you can run many profiles for many different sports or even different days. Manage profiles, you can see here that if you just want to bet across all sorts of codes and you just want to do it for one day, you can just name it Friday and just do that one there. Okay, we can delete the profile. If we want to delete that profile, just push delete and that profile's gone. So if you're only using a profile for one day or the profile you make £50 on that profile and you don't want to continue the profile anymore, you can just delete that profile or edit it, whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's how lay cover staking works, and use it wisely. As I said, don't use it on short priced horses, teams or that. It's not made for that. It's made for a strike rate of around 80% to 90%. Backing third favourites is usually around about an 85 to 90% chance, so that's what you'd be looking for. Dogs, anything like that, that's what you're looking at using this staking, lay cover staking for. So on behalf of Michael and myself, Steve Davidson, thanks for investing in lay cover staking. You have a license for 1 year to use it. At the end of that 1 year, the license will expire.